What was that?
Perfect.
You want to be that guy?
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Hump day, baby. Hump day,
Wow.
baby. Exciting hump day, too.
Wow. Wow.
Not much of a hump, though. It's a great.
Welcome to Decentralized TV. This is Crypto and Coffee. We talk about crypto, we drink about coffee, and we got some news today. We got some news.
Yes.
So, look, we're just gonna get right into it. I know everyone probably looked at their phones this morning and was like, "Damn!" So
that's a
I-
direction.
I just want to share this little victory of mine. I'm not going to tell you how much money I had in this, but what I will tell you is what happened. Check this out. Look at this trade. Wow. These are 15-minute candles right here. Right. You see
Beautiful.
That? You see that? You see that?
Well done.
So this is
my
what we
man.
were talking about. Like we had this big old leg down. We were bouncing on 24 last Friday, and I was like, man, I don't know. We're kind of going sideways for a bit. So I was like, you know what I'll do? I feel good enough about 27. I'm gonna pick up a position on 27, and I'm just gonna ride it out because if we go lower, it's not gonna be much lower from all of the things we're looking at, and if we go higher, it's probably gonna be a good 7 to 9% move. Because again, Jaime has been talking about this 30K ceiling here. Look at this crap. It's so
It's
freaking
beautiful.
But
And then you see the repeat at the bottom. And I love the tool you use, which is the risk to reward ratio tool for
check
your
this.
long and or short positions. Long is when you have the risk at the bottom and the profit at the top, and short is when you have the risk at the top, long and the profit at the bottom. So he did his numbers, guys. This is what we talk about. Do your own research. You look at where the possibility or where your invalidation is, which precisely he did. Look at this, how precise his calculations were. And he hit the target. He actually exceeded his target. And he has the discipline to see it through. So work out a plan, know where you're going to exit, and you can't fail. It either you lose a little bit if it's wrong, or you gain quite a bit if it's right. And this is an example of that.
Yeah. And do know, I don't want anyone tripping about this. Like it went lower than when I went in, right? Like it did dip lower. It did dip down to this, like it flashed down to like 26.9 or so. But like these are quick little flicks underneath. And I don't even know if that has the volume for you to have even if you had limit positions. I don't even know if you would have properly, purchase those types of positions because the volume is so small on that, right? Like I'm sure a lot of other people have laddered sell positions, or buy positions rather.
Awesome.
So
Well done.
anyways, thank you for that. What do we use for trading? Nice try, hacker. No, an exchange.
Yeah. Oh, no. For these calculations, so this tool you just saw that Brandon showed, in which I also use, is TradingView.
Yeah.
So
this
here's
is tradingview.com. Yep.
Yes, and then if you want, I don't do it because it's too risky. You can actually tie your TradingView to your trading account. We will not say what trading account we use, of course, for security purposes, but you can tie it. I don't like that because I'd rather have my own login at the trading account and execute what I planned in TradingView. So TradingView is literally where you can do your calculations and do this analysis that I show you every time we stream. It's TradingView, the tool we're looking at. And there's a free account that limits you at 3 indicators at a single time. So
it'll bug you with ads on the bottom a little bit, but it's still a good tool.
It's fine and you can paper trade, so you start building your confidence. And then, of course, the first time you trade with actual money, you're going to be real nervous. It's fine. You'll just get past that. And then once you pass that stage and you'll take a few losses, then you can start really understanding it and make these type of trades for yourself. But you have to understand it yourself. Do not rely on anyone on YouTube, including us, for your decisions. You must understand it yourself to do it. And whatever we can share, we will always share of our own experience.
Yeah, and really, it's quite useful. If you go under this symbol here, You can see there's a long position and a short position. Those are the tools you probably do want to be using because it does give you a percentage of like profit gain. That's not what I want. I was like, get out of
Yeah,
here.
that's the
Get
Fibonacci
out of here.
retracement.
No, I know. I clicked on the wrong thing. It's good. But like it tells you if you were to hit these numbers, what your percent growth would be. I think if you think in those terms, because if you make trades that are so small that the percentage of profits you make won't beat out the fees or the potential tax ramifications of your position, then it's not worth it. So for me personally, something around 4.8% is my minimum. If it's not at least a 4.8% trade, I don't make it, right? So
Mhm.
you want to look at what kind of velocity the market's swinging by and say like, okay, what time frame is reasonable for me to expect it to swing in this band. So that's what I was looking at. I was willing to ride that out for a good 2 weeks, but it did not take that long. It took Friday to Wednesday, so that's cool.
Yes.
I'll take that. But
And to answer your question, Indo, and I see Boston also wanted to know of the trade itself. So if you have Coinbase, for example, I know Bybit and etc., and pretty much all exchanges for compliance reasons are pushing KYC. Pretty
Mhm.
much, it is what it is. If you're trying to keep it private for yourself and you do your tax reporting and everything as needed, but without having to show the gold, let's say, um, dexes are a possible exchange where you can actually do the trade. You do your calculations in TradingView, and then you set your buy. So in Coinbase, they also have the uh, G no, they have a trading desk, because if you go just to normal vanilla Coinbase, there is no, you either
talking about
buy.
Coinbase Pro is what they call it now. It used
Yes,
to be called
Coinbase Pro.
GDAX, but they stopped that.
Yes. So Coinbase Pro is where you'll get an interface like our TradingView. It's very similar, where you can set your buys and your stop losses. So if it
Mhm.
goes against you, it'll sell off
Yep.
based on your calculations. So that's what you can. That's the cleanest use you have. And
Mhm.
the good news is that you can actually export the transactions at the end of the year for your tax purposes itself.
Mhm.
So we can go deeper into that subject. We would just prepare it. If you guys want to see that, we can definitely do a review of all the exchanges that there are, what a DEX is versus a centralized exchange, etc.
Mhm.
So gladly we'll share all that.
Yep, we're with it. So I wanted to first off share that what WTF is happening. Jaime will give a deeper
Mhm.
dive in a second, but looking at Bitcoin and the 24-hour 9%, 9.1.
Yes.
Ethereum, again, kid brother, 7.2%. So there's that. BNB 4.1%. That's good for the ecosystem. Ripple Nipple has a excitement around 4.9%. Cardano 8.5%. And Dogecoin 5.6%. Polygon 9.3%. Solana 8.6%. So you're seeing again. I kind of lump, Polygon and Solana and Polkadot kind of into the same pile.
Yes.
These are basically Ethereum competitors. They have really good NFT marketplaces. They have a good transactional use case. They're fast for developer, dApps, that type of thing. So that's kind of why you see their prices pretty coupled. They're kind of moving together. Cardano is just copying everybody, and then you have Ripple, who is trying to prove out their case. We have a story on that today. So yeah, all good. And so anyways, Jaime, if you would show us what's going on with Bitcoin in the macro.
Sure. And before I jump to that, I will answer. You're not derailing the our conversation with your question, Boston. So you asked if I don't keep it on an exchange, how do I still accomplish the trades? So that's where you look at these exchanges, like because
In Ledger, you can.
correct.
If you open up the Ledger application, you can right there.
Yes. So now, what getting in here, and we can go into that, and we can expand on in Discord, Boston. But we will show you one simple thing is if you send it back to an exchange, whichever it is, Coinbase, Bybit, whatever you've chosen, you can send it there, do the transaction as an exchange, and then send it back to your. Now, if it's a quick one like Brandon did on the 15-minute, you'll leave it on the exchange, do your transaction, exit. And once you exit, take your profits, send it back to your wallet. And that's how you keep it fully safe. So that's how we do it. Now, back to the show. Here, this is what's extremely important. Ever since last year, when we had the whole crew, the whole gang, TAM, everyone in here, we kept asking the question and wondering, when will Bitcoin start decoupling or start executing or acting for what it was programmed as a hedge against banks? Remember, Satoshi Nakamoto launched Bitcoin at that financial 2008 crisis that involved banks specifically, where you saw the big boys were too big to fail and they were the ones saved. Well, now we're seeing a repeat of history where they're literally sacrificing commercial banks, the small ones, the regional small banks, and slaughtering any of those banks that support crypto, as we've covered in previous articles. So we're seeing this slaughter, and yet because of their actions in creating this, like Silicon Valley Bank was not just crypto, it was also for entire technology industry where they would be salaries and everything would come in. So businesses, legitimate businesses, were putting their money in there, and all of a sudden there's a bank run. And the regulators step in and says, hey, whoever buys this bank, which was profitable, cannot continue the crypto business. They can buy everything else except for that. So you see these actions. So it's a direct attack against what Bitcoin was created. And do you remember what happened when that transpired? I'm showing you this chart. I'll come right back to it and you'll see what I mean by this. So if we look at the daily action, Silicon Valley Bank went to shit during this time period. And it was sacrificed, really. To me, it was a kill shot. It was a snipered shot because any bank that was involved, so Signatures, Silicon Valley, and there's a third one that were sacrificed at the altar. Now the government stepped in saying, oh, don't worry, we backstop banks. And then you had Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, like the big boys affected by these actions, creating a panic. And look at the reaction. Bitcoin performed for what it was created. You saw this rally occur during that moment. Well, again, what happened here? Well, this is precisely what happened. First Republic lost $100 billion in deposits in banking panic. That's what triggered this return. So look at what's happening now. This is Standard & Poor. We have this triangle forming, and look at the shit it's taking. So it's affecting regular stock market, the Standard & Poor's. And, oh, sorry. This is what I was showing you. My apologies for not flipping. So you're seeing that Standard & Poor's is taking a nice little shit at this moment. And what is Bitcoin doing? Instead of taking a shit, we are on the weekly. Bear with me. Let me flip you to the weekly. Here we are. On the weekly, Bitcoin is doing the reverse, precisely what transpired back at this previous banking failure. So we had a banking failure here, like multiple banks, boom, Bitcoin does this. We had a banking failure at the bottom of this, and now Bitcoin rises again. So we are now seeing Bitcoin performing for its intent and purposes as a hedge against fiat banking. So this is a beautiful thing. And remember in our analysis, let me zoom in on that. We were speaking of when during this drop, we did not want it to fall below around 27 28,000, and it held previous support. Now we're seeing this rally up. We don't know what will happen next because it's really making an attempt to hit this moving average on the 3-day, which is sitting at around 32,500 more or less.
Mm-hmm.
But we see this rise. So you do see opportunities for it to rise. The macro thing I want everyone to understand is that Bitcoin is performing for what it was intended, and it rises when there's bank failures. And now a lawsuit of Coinbase against the SEC saying, guys, instead of beating us up, give us regulatory clarity. And they have a lawsuit. That's a Chad move, guys. The fact that they're now going against and like rising and saying, all right, man, enough with this. You served us our wellness notice. Now the industry needs clarity from you instead of beating over the head. So this
legal
is
cases go both ways, homeboy,
Absolutely.
Sorry,
so now we're looking at, will Bitcoin break this, or will this be a higher high to then come back down and refuel again like it just did recently, or we will continue up? By Friday, we will be closer to the end of the month, and we will analyze the monthly, what is going on the monthly. And it's looking good because this was the annual monthly. We just rose above it. On Monday, we were below this, which looked like a reversal. Now we're rising above as we approach the end of the month. So this is going to be very telling how April closes for the industry. And this is Bitcoin, and we will review this on Friday. And that's where we'll bring up all of our other stories for F-It Friday. Whatever comes, we'll share it with you.
Yeah, and could you also show that cinder block we're trying to punch through and where we're at in relation to that?
Of course. So now, here we are on the cinder block. This is the ceiling we're in. Now, let me get, this is the 3-day. I know I had the cinder block drawn.
Whip it out. Whoop-ah!
Yes. Okay, perfect. This is it. So the bottom of the cinder block where we began penetration was where we saw Bitcoin hovering, trying to break it, finally broke through, hit the top of the cinder block. And it's very interesting how the formation occurred, and it broke below. You could tell it was recharging down here, and now it's reattempting a break. So Bitcoin is quite excited to get through this damn cinder block ceiling, and it's coming right back at that top. This is a very bullish sign. Even if we were to retrace back to the 50 moving average, which is sitting at 22,800, all this price action here is showing that the reversal, the bottom of the market, has been reached. Can it go back down to retest a bottom? Well, of course it can.
Yep.
But we are now shifting. We are in the period where now Bitcoin is leveling off out of the bear market. Will we see retracement? Of course we can. Well, can we see this breakthrough? I'm hoping not too fast. So meanwhile, Bitcoin decides what to do. We may go sideways for a while. That's where we see the alts moving. And as you see on the right-hand screen, you see those moving now. It's because Bitcoin is leveling off at this moment. So we may see some sideways action for the next few months. We may see a pullback in May, or we may not, and it moves up. But right now, at this moment, it's too late to enter. So you're thinking about, oh, let me buy now. Don't do it. Brandon was looking in his trade. If you notice, he was looking at the bottom, and because you could see a formation where Bitcoin stabilized, you can deduce a rise from there. And then if you saw the announcement of a bank failing, boom, you could have entered. And that's where the odds are in your favor. So you enter when the odds are in your favor. At this moment, we're at the top of the cinder block, so you do not risk it. You wait now for another entry. There you'll see a lot of traders entering shorts at this position because they may think. And what is their, if you reverse it, their invalidation will be the top of this previous candle. or that moving average up there would be their invalidation. So the risk to reward would be higher. But that's for a trader. That for us,
Right.
dollar cost average, if you're not into trading, dollar cost average is your safest bet of entry for these. So you would have dollar cost average last weekend when it took a dump. So you would have entered, and now you'd be in profit already by now. So it's a good habit to have. Do your research, work on paper, and then you can enter, and we can have these conversations openly. So,
Right.
and we've had it with other viewers.
Yep. And even on the short term, what I'm looking for right now is just confirmation. I do not have a position entered from where we're at right now. I can't tell if we're going to go higher, or lower, low.
Right.
And we don't have the information necessary to tell what the hell it's going to do based on where it's at. So, we do have these strong legs, but we've had these strong legs before, and then it moves sideways for a long time.
Exactly.
Right? So just keep that in mind. Like, don't spaz out. It's on Friday DCA, it'll never treat you wrong. So
precisely. And if you're trying to catch up, like you miss Bitcoin's move, well, if you notice, if you compare when Bitcoin goes sideways, that's when Ethereum and the alts make moves in the direction where Bitcoin went at the time.
Yeah, and you're already starting to see that again. Like again, Bitcoin, what was it, 9.1, and you see people take profits from that, and then they pump their other bags. They pump bags of like whatever other coins they were holding, and so some people start those pumps before BTC's done with its pump, and so that way it's kind of primed, for that money to be moved over, and they can get another 2, 3, 4%, whatever, off of Ethereum or Polygon or whatever it might be. So just keep in mind that like that's how a lot of big traders think. So
precisely. And by the percentage moves, you see where there's interest, what projects are interest, like you saw in Matic and a few other. Ethereum is another one of those.
Right. So. Yeah. And Jaime was pointing this out, but I do want everyone to hear this clearly. This was a moment in history where Bitcoin again got confirmed to be decoupled from traditional banking systems. It is its own financial instrument, separate from banks. It may move with banks sometimes, but it doesn't have to. It can make its own decisions. And so this really was a big, big shot across the bow that like, hey, Bitcoin's going to do what it's going to do. We don't need to copycat the banking industry. So
precisely.
Yeah.
So whenever you see another big failure, you can bet your money now. Now we have 2 in a row of big banking failing and Bitcoin ripping at those moments.
Not financial advice, but it sure looks that way. So let's get into the news for the day, shall we? Also, real quick, I want to give shout outs to the home team. So, I see Indo. What's up, brother? Faithful and true. Boston, top of the morning. Appreciate you, brother. We got Gundy up in the house with the yo. Happy hump day, Crypto Nation. And if anyone else, what's up, Bob? I see you.
Good morning.
So if anyone else is in the chat, go ahead and say what's up in the chat, and we will give you a shout out. But the story we're going to talk about, Galaxy Digital to develop ETPs alongside asset management DWS. So why does it matter? We'll talk about it quickly. So crypto-focused financial services firm Galaxy Digital has teamed up with asset managers DWS to develop a set of exchange-traded products for listing in Europe. The two firms have formed a strategic alliance, according to an announcement on Wednesday, on which the ETP development is the initial aim. ETPs will give European investors cost-effective means of accessing digital asset investment through traditional brokerage accounts. Frankfurt Börse DWS, which has 821 billion euros or $907 billion in assets under management, will be Galaxy's exclusive ally for crypto ETPs in Europe, the announcement said. So, Jaime, you want to give a quick TLDR on why that's a big deal?
On it, it's because now they're actually getting heavyweights involved on the financial side for cryptocurrencies.
Yep.
Sadly, if you notice, why did Galaxy Digital not do it in the States? Why is Coinbase applying?
Regulation.
This is the TLDR, I think the biggest between the lines that we have to see here. Galaxy Digital had to go to Frankfurt, Germany, to do a deal with the WDS. It's not bad for the industry; it's just bad for Americans that are trying to build in this industry.
So Rob TSE.
So as long as the development continues, that's fantastic. But if you notice in the article, it shows the trigger was the SEC's petulant attack against the industry. And that's why I'm so happy Coinbase is filing the lawsuit. Meanwhile, Galaxy Digital is not holding back. They're like, well, if it ain't working here, we're going to do an alliance out there in Europe. Hopefully we get clarity, and now Galaxy Digital can stay home and do all this.
Right.
So it's a boss move, actually.
It really is. And it shows strength and like, hey, we're going to provide this value to someone. If we can't hear, then we'll go to the next best spot. So Galaxy has previously listed exchange traded funds in Canada alongside CI Global Asset Management. While the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, repeated rejection of applications to list spot Bitcoin ETFs in the U.S., has been a source of ongoing frustration in the industry because our balls are blue. Similar products are now well established in Europe and Canada.
Yeah, even Mr. Wonderful is doing business outside of the U.S. With Canada.
Why should Europe and Canada be leading this when we have probably the most amount of developers in this actual space in the United States, but we have a handful of people in governing bodies who are just getting in the way and not being very patriotic. So yeah.
And financial institutions trying to work with them get serve Wells notices instead of like, guys, fix this to comply. Let's move forward. No, they get beat up and their money taken.
Yeah, I don't get it. People are crazy. Significance of such an investment vehicle lies in providing institutional investors with an entry point to crypto investments while not requiring them to take direct control of underlying assets, which I hate that sentence, but I understand it. There's a lot of people who just don't have technical savvy enough to feel confident actually managing their own assets. As we know, as crypto heads, and we will always give technical advice on this, you should hold your own assets. This whole matter, Bitcoin is valuable in the first place because of self-custody. If you don't have self-custody, it's just a concept. It's not actually protecting you against peer-to-peer, right? So, or rather, you're not benefiting from peer-to-peer. You're trusting a third party, and they could say, "Well, not your keys, not your cheese, and it's mine now," and they could bank run you. So,
yes. Because the
banks,
the banks they imploded had the same issues as the major banks, yet they offer backstops to the other one and use the fractional reserve defect to destroy those three banks.
Right.
One of them was doing pretty shady things, but the other two were strong from a banking federal fractional reserve system as best as they could be, and yet they were sacrificed. So, yeah. Let's improve, guys. America, let's do better.
Well, we're going to. We got enough salty people up in the hood. So Deloitte is on a crypto hiring spree. It reveals LinkedIn job postings. So Deloitte highlights its commitment to Web3 and crypto through its intent to hire cryptocurrency experts to join its team, with over 300 positions posted on LinkedIn. One company with 300 positions. They're literally hiring a department. That is an entire vertical of their business they're hiring for. That's a ton of jobs in one specific spot. So according to the latest updates on LinkedIn, Big Four accounting firm Deloitte, which primarily deals in audit consulting, financial advisory, risk advisory, tax, and legal services, is actively seeking individuals with expertise in cryptocurrency to join their team. A search for cryptocurrency job opportunities in the United States and LinkedIn or on LinkedIn shows there are currently over 300 positions available just at Deloitte. Just at Deloitte.
Yep.
And almost all of them were posted just a week ago. However, when conducting a similar search on crypto-related job openings at the other big three accounting firms, namely Ernst & Young, KPMG, and PricewaterhouseCoopers, no results are returned. That's yet.
Yeah, but they are working on it because in our
Mhm.
dealings in the industry,
Mhm.
PwC was one of those that had
Sure.
crypto auditing and services.
And I can't tell you what I know on the inside, but I've had some conversations with some people at some of these organizations, and uh, you know, some of them, and they're considering
I saw what you did there.
doing some of this.
Yes.
Deloitte has several job titles related to cryptocurrency, such as blockchain and digital asset manager, with openings in 97 different countries across the United States. Other job titles include tax manager, blockchain and cryptocurrency, which is available in 18 US locations, and tax manager, blockchain and cryptocurrency NFTs, which has openings in 3 US locations. So look, I got to tell you guys, if you want to get into this space, you need to really make that decision. And like that, this is a proverb that applies to real life from skateboarding, and I want you to hear this clearly. If you are skateboarding and you have, let's say, a 12 stair, and you're going to do some like backside heel flip on that, if you go fast but you don't commit, what's going to happen? You're going to kick the board out, right? If you don't go fast but you do commit, what's going to happen? You're going to hit the third stair and roll down the rest like an idiot, right? And so the only way you're going to land that is if you go fast and you commit. You have to go fast, you have to commit, because if you don't go fast, you don't commit, you're really not trying to seriously do it. You're trying,
Right.
you're flirting with the idea, but it's like, if you're going to marry someone, you don't kind of marry someone. You marry him. You make a decision and say, you know what, for better or worse, sickness and in health, you know,
Yep.
for rich or for poor, I'm sticking with this chick, you know, and you just you pick hard, and whatever comes your way, you just deal with it, right?
Yes, or like the great master Yoda said, there is do
Or do not.
or do
There's
not.
no
There is
try.
no try. So you have to commit. And once Skywalker did, goddamn, we saw that show scale up. So let's go.
Right.
Your life,
And
commit.
so that being said, if you want to get into the crypto industry, you need to go fast, you need to commit. And really the way you're going to do that, you can go on YouTube. Their free Code Camp has amazing tools. You know, Codecademy has amazing programs, but you need to learn how to do front end development, and you need to work with APIs, and you need to work with RPCs. If you do that, you can develop cryptocurrency applications, I'm telling you. And then also the Cryptocurrency Consortium has certification specifically on like Ethereum and Bitcoin, and those are other points that I don't think you need to get off the bat to get into the space.
Yeah.
But it certainly won't hurt you. So
And it's not just programmers, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
Boston CEO Eunice, there's so many artists getting into it through the NFT space and through that's Web3 aspect. These positions are for Web3 also, for the
Mhm.
DeFi space and so many other the application of it. So programming is a path, arts and music is another path. It's just software like program like gaming is another path. There's so many entry points, and
Yep.
we come from one of those one way or another. Join on Discord and lay out or even ask if you're in a specific industry and you want to start putting your toes into the crypto industry or the blockchain industry. There's entry points everywhere at this moment, and it's because
Yeah.
blockchain is the source of truth for any transaction. It's a great audit. It's a great ledger for transactions.
And it's going to be hard work.
Mhm.
It's going to be rewarding, and you're going to look back and say, man, I'm glad I stuck with it. But please hear me, go fast and commit. Don't dabble with it. Just send it. Like, yeet, just go full on it. And like, I'm not saying quit your day job. I'm saying study like a madman. So
Yep.
anyways, all love. That's just my take on it. But what do I know? Let's see. So Visa is hiring more crypto developers to drive mainstream adoption. So on this whole tech hiring thing I'm talking about, Visa is doing this too. And I've heard from a few people that Visa has some financial instruments some people know about. So I've heard a few people who actually use Visa. It's pretty crazy. Visa seeks experienced crypto developers to advance acceptance of public blockchain networks and stablecoin payments. So Visa already sees writing on the wall. They know stablecoins are coming, and we might as well start playing games with them. They're going to look to basically integrate very, very, very quickly.
Yep.
And the amount of transactions per second Visa's rocking is ridiculous. So the amount of nodes they're going to need to handle this sort of this sort of request
Transaction
is
load.
significant. It's
Precisely.
significant. So payment giant Visa is looking to add back-end developers to its crypto team, particularly those savvy with public blockchains and stablecoins.
Yep.
Coy Sheffield, Visa's vice president and head of crypto, tweeted the vacancies on Thursday, saying the roles would help drive. I gotta zoom in on this. Looks like crap on the screen. My bad. Saying the roles would help drive mainstream adoption of the technologies. Visa is specifically setting individuals who have worked with, or seeking individuals who have worked with cutting-edge AI-assisted engineering tools like GitHub Copilot to develop and debug smart contracts. Sorry, Cardano. Why do I say that? Cardano's big deal is that they have a language that they write their tooling in that is self-auditing. And so a lot of people are like, wow, that's really amazing. It prevents these issues. But I'm like, dude, AI is just going to fill that gap no matter where. So, so I don't know. The job listing separately states that Visa is looking for engineers who are passionate about Web3 stack of technologies. Are you passionate about Web3 stacks of technologies? If so, I don't know. There's job listings here. Expected experience includes testing frameworks such as Truffle, Mocha, Hardhat. Visa prefers hearing from candidates who have good understanding of layer 1 and layer 2 solutions. Good understanding of layer 1 and layer 2. That could be you. As well as working knowledge of writing smart contracts with Solidity. Like I said, maybe the cryptocurrency consortium, Ethereum certification. I don't know what I'm talking about though. Ethereum's programming language. They should also have understanding of public and permissioned distributed ledger technology, security protocols, and new Ethereum account standard, ERC 4337. If only we've heard of that before. If only. Oh yeah, we talked about that last time, didn't we?
Yes.
So look, I'm telling you, I'm trying to give you guys layups here. I'm passing the ball, boy. Oh, what's up, Bob? Anyone know what happened to Kryptonio? Also, Gabriel. Yeah, he's still kicking it, dude. He's Crypto Scout now, so you can say what's up to Crypto Scout. He's active in our Discord, so you can bounce in there and say what's up to Crypto Scout. So click up the family. So public blockchain refers to networks which don't require prior authorization to join as validators, with Bitcoin and Ethereum the two most prominent examples. Permissioned blockchains differ in that vetted operators control most of the functions on the network. So really what this is saying is like permissioned kind of means there's a centralized layer. That's a centralized blockchain, as opposed to permissionless is decentralized. Anybody can participate. They just have to bring the right, tools. So.
Yep. And remember, Visa is a centralized system, a permission system in itself. That's how fiat works. So it makes sense that they need both capacities, the decentralized or not. And so in practice, like us, the common people, how does this affect me? Well, now you can have your crypto and a Visa card where you're using your crypto, swiping, and Visa accesses that crypto that you locked with them and issues the payment for you. So it does the conversion, it does everything for you, and you pay out. And that's why they need developers that actually can work at the layer 1 and 2. So when the transactions occur, they can process the transaction. So that's pretty much the use case.
Yeah. In February, Visa rejected reports stating it would halt crypto activities after the collapse of high-profile companies across the ecosystem. Sheffield said on Twitter that the company continued to work with crypto firms to provide fiat on and off ramps, and said its view on the potential of crypto has not changed. So all this FUD about, like, I don't know about this crypto stuff. Visa's like, no, we know about it, and we're going to be
Yeah.
developing.
Yeah, and they're going
We're going to put
full.
our money where our mouth is, right?
They're committing.
Yeah.
They're not iffy.
Go fast and commit, baby.
Yep.
A Visa spokesperson at the time confirmed to Blockworks that the company was keeping close tabs on the industry and regulatory developments, saying it was committed to expanding offerings in the space. The firm set up an advisory unit in late 2021 to help those interested in crypto explore opportunities. Direct rival MasterCard had months earlier flagged intent to adopt crypto on its payment network, starting with stablecoins. Visa has also recently explored the conversion of digital assets into fiat payments, similar to its existing currency conversion services. Sheffield revealed at the Starkware Sessions in 2023 event in Tel Aviv that Visa has been testing settlement payments in stablecoin USDC on Ethereum. So big news, big news, big news. If you're not hearing this, there's jobs in the space. There's jobs in tech, and there's certainly jobs in crypto. And the jobs in tech bleed into crypto. I hate to tell you, it's true. So like, just because you're getting like an IT support job doesn't mean you're not moving in the right direction to work with the blockchain space. So it's coming fast and furious. Just make yourself as valuable as you can. Try to learn things intentionally. Don't just float on YouTube shorts and hope you're going to get what you need. Right.
Yeah. And there's so many ways, guys. Another one that just crossed my mind are electricians, data center guys. Like,
Yeah.
all these people can already engage in the blockchain industry. There's, when I visited Riot Blockchain out there in Rockdale, Texas, where they're building one of the largest mining facilities, the smelting company was going bankrupt. They developed the blockchain, launched the blockchain, the Bitcoin mining farm, and all the electricians that were going to go in the town that was dying, which was Rockdale at the time, got jobs in the industry itself, and now they're extremely profitable.
Right. And I think that's a pattern we're going to keep seeing too. Coinbase, this is from Indo. Coinbase debit card uses Visa. I wonder if Visa saw this as a pilot, and I use that card a lot considering the rewards. No, it absolutely was a pilot.
Yes,
100% was a pilot. But because crypto is so, mixed bag when it comes to public opinion, they didn't toot their horn publicly. They did it in a way that it was a dog whistle to crypto heads that are like, yo, I'll use that. But the general public doesn't really know about it or care about it. So that way Visa doesn't get wrapped up into the FUD when people are just ignorant until the space, kind of warms them up. So,
yep. And keep in mind, Visa is working with Binance globally and other exchanges globally. So it's outside the US also, where they're processing transactions already. So this is very shrewd on Visa's case to start working with all the exchanges around the world to create that on-off ramp to fiat.
True dat. Our next story here, Coinbase sues the SEC. Wham, wham. So Coinbase has decided to sue the SEC after getting no response to a 2021 petition on crypto regulations. Ether is down 12% since hitting an 11-month high after the successful Shapella upgrade. Meanwhile, an obscure smart contract is contributing to congestion on Ethereum. So that was not the article I thought it was, but
but
they're suing them. That's the point.
That's it. This is the Chad move by Coinbase. Like, they got served the Wells notice. Coinbase is like, fuck it. We're going to go find a new headquarters outside the country if this is the way you're going to be, without talking, because they had been talking. Guys, Coinbase has been talking with the SEC since 2013 in like trying to build the regulatory framework for the industry. And then they get whacked upside the head. Now these guys stand out. All right, motherfucker, let's go. If they're not going to work with us, let's go against it. And now congressmen are getting involved in this whole situation. So the tide is turning. This is a grassroots to me, even though Coinbase is huge. It they represent the industry, and they've been trying to represent it properly for the SEC to whack them upside the head. Well, now they're standing up. So to me, this is a David and Goliath. Goliath has to change their tune and do their purpose, which is protect the consumer and help with a regulatory framework, not just enforcement with no guidance.
Yeah, and I actually found
Okay, good.
a article that's actually written properly, not just look. This is the consequence. We do a live show. I hate to tell you this. Like in the morning,
Yes.
like we grab and curate articles that like just came out. So like
Yeah, we
the
whip
stuff
it out.
is- I'm telling you, this is fresh and hot and smells like honey. So, so Coinbase has filed an action on the United States federal court seeking to compel the country's securities regulator to provide a yes or no response to a petition that the exchange has had pending since July. So the petition requested the Securities and Exchange Commission propose and adopt clearer regulatory guidelines for cryptocurrency industry in the US. We've been asking for it. We're crying for it. Mommy, mommy, mommy. In the petition, the exchange asked the potential regulator to answer a total of 50 specific questions concerning the regulatory treatment of certain digital assets. And you got to protect your assets. The questions are broad in scope and range, including asking the SEC to provide clarification on how it goes about classifying tokens as securities. Accompanying the action was a blog post penned by Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal, who said the Administrative Procedure Act requires the SEC to respond to the exchange's rulemaking petition within a reasonable time. So Paul Grewal.eth, he says, today we followed a narrow action in the U.S. Circuit Court to compel the SEC to respond yes or no, yay or nay, to a rulemaking petition we filed with them last July, asking them to provide regulatory guidance for the crypto industry. So he's like, dude, like we're doing everything we can to work with you. Freaking answer us, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Now more than 9 months have passed with no freaking response. What a bunch of turds.
It'll be a year
Man.
in July, guys.
I want to throw donuts at them, but it'd be a waste of good donuts. The
And
exchange,
instead, that notice, the Wells notice. Sorry, I don't. It's
so
like,
you're right. And instead of answering them, they act like,
sweet Lord.
yeah, it's rude. That's rude. That's emotional damage.
Hell yeah.
I thought you were to love me instead of me telling you I love you and you not say I love you back. You sue me. Why you do this?
Right.
You know,
It's all wrong.
like that. It's wrong. It's not good. Donuts. Yeah, don't throw donuts, man. You should just bring them to the office and share them. Now that more than 9 months have passed with no response, the exchange is pushing harder like a poop to get an answer. It seems like the SEC has already made up its mind to deny our petition, but they haven't told the public yet. So the action Coinbase filed today simply asks the court to ask the SEC to share its decision. Hey, will you go ask her to ask her friend if she likes me? You know, that's what's happening in like the SEC right now.
Yeah.
So dumb. This is middle school drama. It's important for the SEC and any other agency petitioned for rulemaking to respond to the petition once the agency has made up its mind, especially if the answer is no, Grewal explained. Grewal explained that clarity on these matters is of the utmost importance, especially considering the fact that Coinbase received a Wells notice on March 22nd, which hints at potential enforcement actions against the crypto exchange. And Brian Armstrong just mails a below the belt nude to them, and he's like, "These nuts," you know. That's kind of what I imagine is going on right now.
You got issues, Brendan.
Thank you. Coinbase and other cryptocurrency companies are facing potential regulatory enforcement actions from the SEC, even though we have not been told how the SEC believes the law applies to our business, Grewal added. On February 9th, Kraken reached a settlement with the SEC, which I don't like that they did that, for failing to register the offer and sale of their crypto asset staking as a service program. This here, I got feelings about, man.
So let me clarify precisely what happened there. Kraken was doing the staking program, to provide liquidity for their exchange.
Yep.
Coinbase was providing staking for its intended purpose, which
Oh, sure.
is providing security and transaction processing
Mhm.
to the network. So they also, so on that time period, Kraken's like, oh fuck, yeah, we're dropping it, and they dropped it because you could almost tell they knew. They were like, they're really on the gray side, almost wrong side. Versus Coinbase was doing it correctly, and this
Sure.
their decision right after that was like, all right, guys, we are going to do staking, but all we're doing is providing access to our clients directly to the L1 protocol to provide that service of the staking. And then we
Right.
just pass the rewards for their commitment to the network and stood their ground.
What I wish would have happened though is I wish Kraken would have done what Coinbase did and then registered to expand it for liquidity and allowed
Yes.
people basically to sign on an okey doke and maybe offer like a higher percentage if people are in the liquidity program to make it worth their time, but just the same
Yes.
it is, not just direct access to the blockchain. But anyways, what do I know? Let's keep talking. Which the watchdog claimed were securities under its oversight. The exchange agreed to cease operations of its staking as a service program for the U.S. customers and handed over a $30 million fine.
Yeah.
Oof.jpg. This move proved unpopular internally. The SEC commissioner, Hester Pierce, labeling the SEC's conduct as not an efficient or fair way of regulating. Appreciate that. And slammed her own agency for shutting down a program that has served people well. See, shout outs to Hester Pierce here. Like, you're being so reasonable. Like, you've clearly recognized that, like, the SEC is not fulfilling its function in this instance, right?
Yeah, and
So-
this is from inside the SEC, and that's why Congress is proposing, one of the congressmen eliminate that position, the chairman position, that can do whatever the hell he wants, despite what the rest of the agency is doing. So let's go, let's get this done.
You're right, and I just want everyone to salute Hester Pierce real quick for being reasonable. Thank you, Hester Pierce.
Well done.
You're amazing. So earlier in the year, on February 12th, almost Valentine's Day, but not quite, the SEC and the New York Department of Financial Services under Paxos, the issuer of the US dollar pegged stablecoin Binance USD, to stop minting and issuing their token. And we covered that live, adding to the slew of action against crypto in the U.S. Democratic Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren announced on March 31st she would be forming an anti-crypto army as a key part of Senate-related re-election campaign. So I don't like that. I'm going to refrain from using pejoratives because I know some people don't like that, and that's okay. But Lizzie, it's not helpful. That's not pro-freedom.
You know who's paying her? If she wore a team jacket on her back, the logo
Like
would
NASCAR?
have Banks. Yeah, like NASCAR. Our great comedian brought that point up. It's Banks. She's trying to protect Banks and the and everything bank related.
It's the way of life, though. Like her pocket of the political space is centralized in power. They want more power for the government. They're trying to get rid of things that allow you to deviate this centralized approach, and crypto is decentralized, so by nature she's not going to be for it, right? Because it's deviating the mechanisms she wants to see have more control, because the idea here is more control equals more safety. But it's safety according to however they deem it, not however you deem it. So I know most crypto heads are not particularly interested in that type of freedom, right? You're free to go onto your front lawn, but not on the sidewalk. You're like, I'm going to go on the sidewalk. So yeah, anyways, as the US becomes more fervently opposed to the crypto industry, Coinbase has signaled its intention to move part of its operations elsewhere. this is going to happen. They're just killing the country. On April 19th, Coinbase received a license to operate in Bermuda and is reportedly seeking to launch a derivatives exchange there as soon as this week. With Coinbase being only publicly traded cryptocurrency exchange in the United States, analysts will be looking at the exchange's upcoming earnings report on May 4th to gauge the health of the wider crypto sector in the US. So that's actually quite a big deal, and I'm glad we can talk about it here and keep everyone, as Jaime likes to say, abreast. But it's important. It really is.
Yeah. And now they launched the lawsuit, so let's go.
Go Coinbase. We're rooting for you.
Let's go.
And I'm almost of the opinion that we should start. Maybe Indo, you and I can work on this. We can make like trading card, like a NFT trading card system with just all the different people in the SEC represented in like caricature, like Yu-Gi-Oh, So I don't know, maybe that's what I'm thinking. Our very last article for the day.
Just don't rug pull, okay?
No, we don't rug. We don't.
Indo will keep us honest.
I don't understand the reason for rugging. Just make a roadmap that's reasonable. And if you have like funny art or art people like and they like the idea, like just don't promise the world. Just promise a little bit. And
yeah.
I don't get it, man. So Solana unveils a ChatGPT plugin that retrieves on-chain data. Yo, you hear this is as a pattern. This is really cool. The plugin can retrieve account data, information about NFTs, and more. So let's check this out. Get that frick no. Solana Labs have revealed a ChatGPT plugin that will allow chatbot users to interact with the Solana blockchain as seen in a tweet in April 25th. Solana Labs said that the users will be able to use the plugin to check wallet balances, transfer tokens, and purchase NFTs from within ChatGPT. In one screenshot, a user asks for a list of NFT owned by particular Solana address. In a second sample image, a user asks for help sending a Solana transaction to another address. And in a third, a user asks for help purchasing an NFT. Each prompt returns the relevant instructions or information in a natural language. Technical details on GitHub also suggest that the plugin can retrieve data about account balances, assets held, transactions, signatures, NFT collections, and more. Solana did not state when a plugin will be launched for general use, but said that the developers can create their own plugins using the project's source code. That's super cool. The project's GitHub page also suggests that the tool can currently be installed as an unverified plugin by using this address. So on other blockchain AI tools, news of Solana's ChatGPT plugin arrives alongside various other AI services and initiatives related to cryptocurrency services and projects. Binance launched a ChatGPT-powered Sensei bot on April 24th, while Visa announced plans to hire AI-focused blockchain developers that same day. Hint, hint. Wow, this is really tied together, isn't it? Crypto-integrated browsers are also adding AI features. Opera, a browser no one uses, also announced an AI-integrated version today called Opera One. Brave, a browser everyone should use, meanwhile integrated an AI-powered summarizer tool into its engine in early March. And I've been using this a ton. Literally, if you just search anything on a Brave browser, the default pop-up is an AI TLDR. It's really cool. Outside of blockchain industry, individuals linked to Marvel Studios and Epic Games have spoken about the potential of AI in the entertainment industry. So, this space is bullish. I hope you're seeing how bullish this space is.
Yes.
Really be on it. Yeah, as much Indo's real talk here. As much FUD as there is around Solana, they're building with their middle fingers up. Yeah, dude.
Yep, precisely. That's what matters,
knock on
guys.
their builders. They're builders. It's not central. It's not decentralized, but maybe it will be in the future. And at very least, it's proving as I look at ETH, I see ETH as an R&D space. People are testing tools and seeing what's possible, and then we're taking those lessons and we're applying them everywhere else. And I think that's really cool and clearly how we should be approaching test nets. So
that was quick. Time went fly. Guys,
later. Bye. Thank you for joining us on Decentralized TV. Crypto and Coffee. I hope you can hear me because usually this jacks with my audio.
Initially it did. You sound great.
I look like a madman either way. So happy hump day. Hope everyone has a wonderful week. Keep calm and huddle on. Make sure you DCA on Friday. Until
Yes.
next time, I'm the Data Lord. This is Jaime on Crypto and Coffee on Decentralized TV. Stay tuned. Link in the description. We got a Discord. Come hang out with us. Ask questions. We chill. And until Friday morning, we'll be around.
Great seeing you. Happy hump day, everyone. Huddle on.